finer than a run by Ernest Miner and a big Kevin Mack attack. We got Bernie the Kid, and I'm glad we did. He's as talented as he is cool. In the clutch is quite a twosome when he throws to Ozzie Newsome. Brian Brennan, Webster Slaughter too. They're the bad Cleveland Browns, baddest football team around. Better than a team should be. They're gonna win the AFC. Now the Browns have got a defense that can really rock the place. Tell your runners and receivers that they're gonna be believers when the dogs are getting in their face. There's Golden from Johnson, Clancy, Hairston, and a couple 100 pounds of clay. Now when Chris starts rocking, Frank and Hampton start barking, they'll be dogging you all the way. They're the bad Cleveland Browns, baddest football team around. Better than a team should be. They're gonna win the AFC. If you got a kick, it might make you sick when the Ice Cube does his thing. Praise the Lord and give him thanks because he brought us back to banks, and now we're banking on the Super Bowl ring. Now the whole league took a fighting, and when the field was finally clear, the Browns were simply meaner, so they're gonna pass it Dean, and Marty was the coach of the year. They're the bad Cleveland Browns, the baddest football team around. Better than a team should be. They're gonna win the AFC. They're the bad Cleveland Browns, baddest football team around. Better than a team should be. They're gonna win.
Who's the owner of this fine vehicle right here? Is that be you, sir?
Huh?
You don't mind if we take some pictures of it, do you?
No, it's fine.
No? You wouldn't mind answering a couple of questions for us, would you?
She'll answer them.
She'll answer them?
All right.
Is she the Browns expert in the family?
Are you the Browns expert?
Yep.
Not an expert, no.
No? But you have your opinions, you know. And you guys got the grills and everything cooking over here. I smell sausages. What's your name?
Marianne,
Where are you from, Marianne?
Avon Lake.
Avon Lake. All right.
You guys from?
We are from, well, he's from East Lake. I'm from Willowick. My name is Brian, and his name's Sean. And I'm about to hand that to you right now.
Okay.
We do a live fan cast every Wednesday night
Every Wednesday on Facebook.
at 7:30-ish, depending on what time we get started. And that's all we do is we talk about the Browns. We voice our opinions, and sometimes we get mad, and sometimes we're happy, and you know how that goes.
Yep.
So, if you don't mind, I'm going to start by asking you, what is your Browns resume, so to speak? How long have you been coming down to the Muni lot, season ticket holder, things of that nature?
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yep.
We got a veteran.
Yeah.
Some of these other people, I don't think they've been coming down. They might have got here today at 8, and that's about as far as their resume goes. Okay. What players today are going to be critical for the Browns to pull off a victory?
Well, Baker Mayfield and Myles Garrett.
Seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be going that way. All right.
Well, Ward and Hyde also.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's it. We have a see someone that can elaborate.
Yeah.
A veteran. I like it. All right. What do we got on the menu today? What are we having?
We just finished. We had Egg McMuffin sandwiches with sausage. We got ribs coming later. And chicken shish kebabs.
So you're doing breakfast and lunch today
Yes.
down here.
Well, as the group. As the group.
And she didn't say Egg McMuffin. She just said Egg a Muffin.
Yeah.
No copyright infringement on that one.
That's right.
All right. Here's the most important question today. What is the final score of today's game, and who's going to win?
I think the Browns going to win. I think it's going to be close. It could be another overtime. I don't know. I think it'd be a low-scoring game. I can't guess a number. I think it'd be a low-scoring game.
It's good with me. She says Browns win
Yeah.
in a low-scoring game, possibly
16.
another overtime extravaganza. Can we take that?
I think it could be another overtime.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Go Browns.
All right, go Browns.
Who's the owner of this fine vehicle right here? Is that be you, sir?
Evening, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Quarterbacks. We got It's Better with Kevin and Hot Chub Time Machine in the house. Welcome to the show, everyone. Today is our draft review and way too early roster predictions. What's up, Bill? Thanks for watching. What's up, Tiana?
Let's then move to the Browns as we look at the AFC North draft dates. The Browns can't leave draft weekend without addressing what? And
Someone's taking over the show. Who was that?
Christian Bale tried to chime in.
Oh my God! Wow, that's awesome.
So, if you guys go to zoom.us and you hit 599-401-010, you can be a part of the show live in the Zoom room with us. Someone's distracted. They're not going through the slides.
So what do we have on the agenda today, John?
Or you can
We've got
dial
your
that.
first
You can
blue
dial
line
that
to
number
drink.
above. You can dial that number above. You can see
All
PFF ranked the Browns the gold medal winners for the draft.
And if I'm not mistaken, they were the only ones in, if you combine last year and this year, to get an A.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they.
And-
I mean, I don't want to say it was easy for the Browns, but when you really are feeling like, I mean, sure, clearly the defense needed to be addressed, but they weren't going to do too terribly much unless, pick an offensive lineman from Alabama in the first round, John Gruden. What a moron pick that was. I mean, the Browns really couldn't screw this up.
No, and that's it's when you have a good team, that's what it's like. I guess we're not used to it, but we really didn't have any major needs that we had to fill in the draft because we filled them in free agency.
What?
But what they did do, I thought, was what was a need. Andrew Berry was the smartest guy in the room, but he didn't have to try to prove he was the smartest guy in the room, a la John Gruden. Oh, everybody's got this guy ranked late second round. I'm going to draft him in the first.
I'm going to be the smartest man in the room.
He was the smartest man in the room by not trying to be the smartest man in the room. Let the board come to you. You've traded up for a linebacker that everybody thought would be gone in the first round. Smart move, and you just plug and play the rest of the way.
I thought that was smart. And look, and I don't know what you guys touched on last week, but I think safety was a concern. They addressed that with John Johnson.
We said cornerback, linebacker, safety, and defensive line.
And they got all four plus a rotational offensive lineman. And then from what everybody said, and I looked him up because they talked about medals. The wide receiver from Auburn, never Olympic bound, but world championship. I mean, the dude is sick flying down the field.
Oh, that's one of the fastest guys the NFL's ever seen.
All right. Well, so
Not exaggerating either.
we're going to do some quotes. Then we're going to look at the draft class. Then there's been a couple new acquisitions since the draft, and then we're going to look at the roster. I took a roster from our lads, and we'll talk about who's going to be here, who's not going to be here. So I'm not just a guy who's going to run deeper, do screens. I'm a guy who can run the whole route tree.
That's Anthony Schwartz.
That is who we were just talking about. Correct. Wide receiver Anthony Schwartz, drafted in the 3rd round. What do you guys think about that? You guys think that pick was a little bit of a stretch? Don't you think he could have been available in the 4th?
Look, they got who they wanted.
I know. That's what everyone says.
Stuff they could do with that guy, and
Clearly they saw something in him. I wonder if they thought someone else was going to take him earlier.
not even 21, but I heard him on the interview, what was it, yesterday on WKNR, and sounds like a really good kid, really smart, wants to work, wants to get better, was already working out with Landry yesterday, 3 days after he got drafted. He's already working out with Landry, so yeah, I love it. How can you not like it? Speed.
Yeah, and that's the beauty, is he doesn't have to come in and be a guy that you expect to contribute mightily.
He doesn't.
He's the 5th wide receiver.
Yeah.
But put him out there, and you've got to respect him.
4 or 5 years ago, yeah, you would have to start this guy, and he'd probably ruin his career, like we do.
Right.
Now, yeah, you can develop these guys, and they don't have to start right away. So.
Right, and if they do like that speed, in which we lack, other than Odell, but he's coming back from injury, and
Well, they didn't
Little
have
older.
him now against Kansas City, and I thought that was a glaring weakness against the Chiefs. You just didn't have anybody that could take the top off the defense. No, I love Jarvis, but he's not a speed guy.
He's a
And
slot.
without Odell out there's just nobody out there that's fast. That scares the defense. I like that.
Yeah. All right, next quote. See if we can stump Jim. I'm really excited. I hope that we get to be able to do. I hope I will get to be able to do kick return and punt return.
Anthony Schwartz.
I'm gonna say Demetric Felton.
You looked.
I did not. I swear. I swear.
It is Demetric Felton. Demetric Felton.
Really? I don't think he's fast enough to do that, but whatever. Okay.
You've watched a lot of his tape?
No, but they were saying on when he first got drafted, I was listening to 92.3, that draft marathon with Joe Thomas and Nathan Segura, and I forget who the host was, but they had people coming in like Gerard Cherry, and when they drafted him, that's one of the things they mentioned is not only can he catch the ball out of the backfield, but being a kind of hybrid wide receiver / running back. They said he catches everything, and then the final thing they did mention was there's another option for kick returner and punt returner. That's why I kind of guessed that.
Yeah, the thing I get, and no, I didn't watch a lot of his tape, and no one has watched tape here, so let's not pretend that we have.
When you say we watch tape, that means
I only said that because he's like. Well, I only said that because he's like. Well, he's not fast enough. So I was just wondering. Is he looking at 40 times or what? What's his content analysis that he did to take that opinion?
The good one I heard was like he's like a Darren Sproles, but not as fast.
Okay.
So he can do all of that, but he's just not quite as quick. He's like a 4-5 guy, so he's not gonna, take the, burn your socks off or whatever the expression is. But
Bill,
I got to give a little bit of credit. I got to cite my sources here. As much as the guy irks me, I do got to give that credit to Aaron Goldhammer, who a caller was raving about how he watched tape, and he watches tape, and Goldhammer went, "Oh, please, you just watch YouTube. Stop with you watching."
Exactly.
Right.
And I was like, he's on it. Right.
No one's watching the tape.
Bill, we're going to get to your comments soon enough when we're doing roster predictions. I agree with you, but we're going to do that soon enough. So let's look at the next quote. There was something that came up in terms of what guys were saying. There were no really heart issues at all.
I think this one, we know who's it about.
We know who it's about.
Who said it?
I'm going to say it's 1 and 2. I'm going to go with Barry.
It's better with Kevin?
It's got to be Barry or the actual guy, Jeremiah. So I'll go with Jeremiah.
And the winner
ding,
is...
Ding, 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 ding! The actual guy! In this press conference, it was reported earlier that he had thought there might be some issues with his heart or some kind of heart condition. The Browns thoroughly researched it. A lot of teams went away from him. I think there's also an argument that he's a tweener, so he might not fit in some NFL like kind of playbooks or whatever. And so that's another reason why he slid. But we picked him up in the second round.
Yeah, if you're going to play 4-2-5, you're going to look for speed guys at linebacker. That's what he is. So that.
Coverage guy and linebacker, speed guy.
Yeah, you have to trust those guys. I think they've earned our trust. I think they know what they're doing. So.
And what did you guys think about the pick itself, John? You wanted him in the first round, so I know you're excited that he landed to us at number 52.
Well, you guys...
He's a Notre Dame fan.
I know. I took grief on it only because of Notre Dame, but my two sources... Mike Tirico said if he was there at 26, he would walk the pick up himself for the Browns. And Peter King, in his one and only mock draft, had the Browns trading up to 21 to get him.
Oh, wow.
As he started going, through the first, I thought, oh my God, he's there at 26, and I was celebrating. And then the Browns took Newsome, and I'm like, okay, I could understand that. I was a little bummed as a Notre Dame guy, but all right. And then into day 2, I started getting like a little reveal for those that weren't with us last week. Spalding has never seen the movie Draft Day. which is
Wrong, Seamus.
Oh, Seamus. I'm sorry. Seamus has never seen draft day, but I got the.
I didn't find it quote worthy. I'm sorry.
This is Bo Callahan. Why is he drafting? Why is he dropping? And because Sonny Weaver found out nobody went to his birthday party.
He is definitely not Bo Callahan.
Yeah, well, that's what I was. But I had that image in my head, like, why is he falling? Because the heart issue really didn't come out until after the pick was made.
Right. A day or so after.
And even if I will say that, even if he's a bust or he gets hurt, God forbid, or whatever, it was the right pick. There's nobody in their right mind that cannot say this was a poor pick.
No, not there.
At 52, you had to take it.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And plus, I think for what the Browns need and where they are as far as a franchise, as far as what the roster is, that's a no-brainer. You know, you need a linebacker or two. You don't need him to start necessarily, but this guy can come in and start right away, probably. So it's a no-brainer for me.
Love it.
Yeah, what it meant by get hurt was kind of like a resemblance to Courtney Brown, where everybody thought this guy is going to be the next, Bruce Smith, and then the injury bug just came out of nowhere. But like I said, I think if you get this guy at 52, when every prognosticator out there said first round, you got to steal.
I think so.
Right on. All right, next one. My mom, she doesn't care where I go, whichever team takes me.
Greg Newsom.
Sure.
I'll give you a hint. No one ended up taking him.
Oh, he's an undrafted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, it's got to be somebody the Browns picked up.
The highest paid one.
Oh, what's his face? Oh yeah. Oh, I know it.
From Florida State.
The defensive lineman.
Yes.
McDowell? No, that's
nope.
The other guy.
Yeah, that's the other guy. Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin Wilson. So he wanted to be drafted. He didn't care who took him. She didn't either. Whichever team takes him. No one did, but the Browns swept in and swooped him right up. Yeah. Gave him a big undrafted free agent contract.
Yeah, he got like a $30,000 bonus or whatever.
Now, other than the Ohio State guy, that was the next lineman that we took for defense.
Togiai?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I like. I do like. That's a good depth pick.
All right, Spalding.
All right, next one.
Move on.
There's two more. Yep, two more. Oh, I messed up the picture.
Andrew Berry.
It says we're certainly aware of the. We're certainly aware of the issues as we've done external reviews on him for the last 2 months.
Malik
McDowell, and obviously the person who said it was Andrew, because that's very GM speak.
2017, he was in prison for a while.
11 months.
Yeah.
For battery and assaulting an officer.
Yeah.
And receiving stolen property, which
good.
I think he tried to plead. He didn't know it was stolen property, but it was a car, and he was hiding it. Well, if somebody gives me a car and I'm hiding the car, it's probably not the best line of defense I'm going to use against.
I mean,
former second-round pick.
Can you come up with in that situation?
Hopefully, he's turned his life around.
Well, the prognosticators, everybody on 92.3 and 850 the next day all said the same thing. Low risk, high reward. If the guy,
that's all it is.
If he shows up to training camp and he gets in a fight at BW3, who caught him and he's out.
Right. If he doesn't make the team, okay, see ya, bye, gone, whatever.
But I do like, though, just the narrative that Cleveland Browns fans aren't screaming, this guy's going to be a cancer in the clubhouse and he's going to ruin it. The mentality around town is, no, we have a strong enough clubhouse that if this guy comes in and becomes a jackass, get out. We're strong enough to have this sort of presence where, 4 years ago, no way. No way did we have that.
Right. Yeah, you're just hoping he can come in, keep himself clean, stay on the straight and narrow, and assimilate into the team and be productive.
I think a few years ago we drafted one of these guys that had a bunch of problems.
Antonio Callaway.
Him too, but it was a defensive tackle or lineman, and he was decent.
Well, how about a guy that the entire league ran away from because
he got in trouble and we got rid of him? But
well, the guy that everybody in the league said, "Oh no, you can't touch him. You can't touch him because he's got the domestic violence against a woman." Kareem Hunt.
oh,
Ever since they picked up Kareem Hunt, that dude has done nothing but he is pure as driven snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
So if they, I understand that wasn't Andrew Berry that picked up Kareem Hunt, but
Let's see, Doris.
But yeah, so
All right.
I don't know. I think I don't think it's the worst pickup in the world. If the guy, like I says, if he stubs his toe, they're going to throw him out of the run.
Who cares?
And there's your what you said earlier. There's your PFF. The Cleveland Browns are the only team with an A+ NFL draft grade in both 2020 and 2021.
That's impressive.
All right, one more slide, then we'll get to the noobs. I can play off. I can play press. I don't think there is a coverage in the playbook that I won't be able to play at a very elite level.
Yeah, it's Greg.
Easy.
Greg Newsom the second.
Easy. Our new cornerback.
I like his confidence. Well-spoken kid. Seems like he was excited to be drafted by the Browns. I liked it. I liked the pick.
Yeah, I
So
do too.
he's not just a we need the dues guy.
No. Not many people will get that.
And how many people would get that the "We Need the Dues" is John Spalding's fraternity nickname?
That's the only reason I got in. All right, let's look at the draft class.
Oh, we got a blue line, fellas. If people
You know what that
watching at
means.
home,
If you have Pinot, pinkies up.
I got Lipton. Black
do.
tea.
Chi is also pinkies up.
I do have Pinot.
We got Greg Newsom, Jeremiah, JOK. My son was very excited because we're sitting there reading a book and I was watching the draft and he's like, Dad, who are the Browns going to pick? I'm like, well, I think they're going to pick this guy they call JOK because
the Joker.
I can't do his name. And they heard him, and they made the pick, and Charlie heard the announcer say JOK, and he's like, they picked him, Dad, they picked him. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you were right. I'm like, yeah, once. They got Anthony Schwartz, James Hudson, Tommy Togiai from the Bucks,
Yep.
Richard LeConte, who people thought could have gone higher. He was in a motorcycle accident, I guess, in November.
Oh, Kellen Winslow, nice.
And Demetric Felton, running back. So pretty even. You needed more defensive guys than offensive, but you still took a lineman and a wide receiver for depth purposes. Smart. And a running back.
You didn't need more defense because Barry took care of that in the offseason with the free agents.
Mm-hmm.
So, the defense is, even before the draft, was highly upgraded, I thought.
Yeah, and what a year! What a difference 2 to 3 years makes. We would have been doing this show 3 years ago going, who's going to make the 53 final roster because we didn't know who could possibly be good enough to be on an NFL team.
Yeah.
Now we're saying, who's going to make the 53 because there's quality guys they're going to have to go bye-bye or at best to the practice squad.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about like the fourth defensive tackle and the swing offensive lineman and the it's nice. It's a nice feeling to have.
What's up, Corey? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us. And listen, if you want to come in live, you go to zoom.us and you hit that code at the top, 599-401-010, once you go to zoom.us, and you can come in here and live and BS with us.
Indeed.
All right, let's see who they picked up after the draft. Well, wait. Before we do that, Tommy Togiai, do we like that? You said it's a depth pick. You think he's going to make it? You think he'll be okay? Has he got development?
Oh, yeah. He'll make the team. That guy's he's got talent. That's a D tackle. That's like an Ogunjobi type guy. He's got more pedigree than Ogunjobi. And look at what Larry did with his career. So, yeah. Fuck yeah. For sure, that guy will definitely be on the team.
And they said that of all the positions in this year's draft, defensive tackle was like the weakest they've seen in years. So to get this guy at 132, I would say solid pick. I mean, if he turns into Ogunjobi, amazing.
Yeah.
If he's a serviceable rotation guy, That's why he's picked at 132.
His physical numbers were up there.
Yeah, the bench press 40 times.
Yeah, his short shuttle, and like, not that anyone cares about this, but he's got good quickness, really light on his feet for a bigger guy.
I heard. Is he the one they talked about? They actually went to his workout and like watched him work out. Is he the one that they
went
said
to the Ohio State Pro Day? I think.
One of the guys that's on here is supposed to be a workout machine, and so they went to go check it out.
He's one of them. He's the bench press guy, but he's got he is really quick in the short, little shuttle drills and stuff.
So let's go to the next one. They picked up a couple other players. We talked about one of them. And then they also have our undrafted free agents. So we got Trey Harbison, running back. Marvin Wilson, who we talked about, was kind of like the sought-after undrafted one out of Florida State. Romeo McKnight, and then Manny Rugamba from Miami of Ohio. I know it says source. There's no source in there.
Yeah. I don't think any of us know.
That source was, I believe the source is from Fanatics. Yeah.
I can't say anything about any of these
We
guys.
signed Damian Square from the Chargers, 9-year vet, and then Malik McDowell, the dude with all the history.
Yeah, and I gotta believe Trey Harbison. Thanks for being a training camp tackling dummy. And
all three. I mean,
at the end of August, you'll be off to greener pastures.
The only guys that might push will be Marvin Wilson. But we have a lot.
That, and I do think Malik McDowell, he reminds me of like the Ben Gay. Remember when Ben Gay came at Butch Davis brought in Ben Gay, and he was like at one point the top high school running back in the country, and he went through some problems.
Malik McDowell is going to be the guy that Seamus is going to rag on
that guy.
every game. He's like, oh, where is he? Where is he? He's not going to be there. He's going to talk about his criminal past, and then who knows? He might turn the corner, turn it around, and then by the end of the season, finish strong.
Him and Myles Garrett were like the top defensive linemen in the country in high school at one point. And obviously, you can see where his career went. So we shall, high risk or low risk, high reward.
All right, so I tried to do this. This is going to be one half drinking, one half going through the roster. I tried to put it down by position. Front line is a little bit more stretched out than the other positions. But let's just kind of go through, look at the current roster for each position, and say who we think is definitely has a roster spot.
Should we move? Okay.
So first up, we got wide receivers. We have the left side, Landry, Peoples-Jones, Kadero Hodge, Jamarcus Bradley, JoJo Natson, Ryan Switzer. Right side, we have Odell, Higgins, Schwartz, Willies, and Hollins. Who are the definites?
Well, your top five are pretty easy to pick off.
Landry, Beckham, Peoples-Jones, Higgins,
and Schwartz.
Any other ones going to make it?
I think Natson's going to make the team because of his return ability.
You don't think what's his name's going to beat him, Demetric Felton?
No, I don't.
I don't like the idea of Anthony Schwartz returning punts or kicks. I get it that you're fast, and that's great, but you're also less than 200 pounds, and I don't need you snapped in half.
Natson's like 160, so let's keep this in perspective here.
Yeah, but I'd still say let's keep Anthony Schwartz to go deep, stretch the defense.
Yeah, no, Schwartz is not going to be cut. I mean, he's a third round pick, so
he's in.
Landry, Peoples-Jones, Beckham, Higgins, Hodge. They love Hodge. Schwartz would be 6. I mean, you're not going to keep much more than that, right?
No, I see Hodge making it over JoJo Natson only because if they keep Felton as their third running back, I really do see him as being more of the returner.
Yeah, no, they like Hodge for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yep, we all agreed 5 minutes ago what a problem to have when you're going to be cutting good players.
This is good.
Yeah, which is fine.
All right.
What a problem to have.
It's great.
Next group. Left tackle. We got Jedrick Wills, swing tackle, and James Hudson. I think he's going to do both. And then Alex Taylor.
Hudson is obviously supposed to take the place of Lamb, who was like the swing tackle. And play both positions. I think that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So Alex Taylor, practice squad, whatever. Goodbye.
Next slide. Left guard, Batonio, Fabiano, Iwuagwu,
Yeah,
and Colby Gossett. I see Joe Batonio staying.
Fabiano.
I don't even want to jinx. Batonio's, of course, going to stay, but man, the way you're starting to look to the future, you cannot pay all these offensive linemen, and man, does it pain me to think that Batonio could be axed because of money.
And yeah, he could be in line for a big contract for sure, but I think he's signed for another 2 years, I think.
Yeah. He did sign that long-term deal.
Yeah, it was
like a 7-year, 6 or 7 years deal.
Pretty team friendly. I think he's good for a couple of years. Let's not worry about that.
All right. Next group.
Yeah.
J.C. Treader, Nick Harris, and Blake Hance. We saw Blake Hance a couple games last year.
This is where you could see Harris. I don't know how much gas Treader has left in the tank, but
he's the president of the Players Association, though.
And he's the captain of the offensive line.
And I think this is his last year.
I think it might be. We should probably look that up.
So let's hope Nick Harris is coming along. So I think they'll keep both of them. Blake Hance is probably going to be odd man out.
Well, Nick Harris was taken last year to be a guy that was not only your potential long-term solution at center, but they could bounce him around the line, and they used him in various roles.
Was he a draft pick? Do you know what round he was in last year? Fifth.
Washington, right?
No, Nick Harris, Michigan.
I'm thinking.
Washington. Yeah, you are right, Washington.
Okay. Yeah, he was pretty decent in college. I think he's kind of limited, but coach him up.
Callahan can do a lot with our line, isn't that his?
He's coming into his second year, so great.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great guard.
Wyatt Teller, Michael Dunn, Javon Patterson, Drew Forbes.
Here's a problem that you're bringing up, John, Mr. Mac.
Wyatt Teller.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay this dude at some point.
And I think we have to. I think if he even halfway through the season, if it's looking like he's the same as he was last year, I think you have to pay that guy.
If the guy grades out like the best guard in the league again, you can't afford him.
Or you franchise him.
Yeah, but then you're paying...
Because you're going to have to franchise him and Nick Chubb.
First year you franchise a guy, you have to pay him, within the top 5 of the average position of that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's going to be 10, 11, 12 million for that.
Oh.
You see what an offensive line can do. I mean, they just...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's obvious that they emphasize that, and it panned out. It worked.
I see them keeping Teller and Drew Forbes here.
All right, right tackle.
Jack Conklin, Chris Hubbard, Greg Senat.
Conklin's signed for 4 fucking years.
Yeah, Hubbard is going to be there. Greg, thanks.
Hubbard might go, depending on how that other tackle they drafted went and what their room looks like and who they want to keep. Like you guys said, if he competes with Hubbard and he actually...
No, Hubbard's a good guy to have.
Okay.
Right,
I agree with that. Greg,
he's gone.
We're ready.
Best of luck. Tight end, Austin Hooper, Steven Carlson, Jordan Franks.
Really easy.
3, right? Or are they going to keep 4?
I would not say 4. I would say 3.
I'm still stunned that somehow the tight end cockroach, David Njoku, is still hanging around.
I can't believe Steven Carlson's still hanging around.
But I mean, David Njoku is at least going. I mean, he hasn't said it openly, but he pretty much has said, "Get me the hell out of here. I don't like it here. I don't like you. I didn't like the last regime. I don't like this regime. I didn't like the last coach. I don't like it." He's doing everything to get traded, but get traded. And then they picked up his 5th-year option.
I don't blame him either. I think he would probably blossom somewhere else.
So is his 5th year this year or is it next year?
It's this year.
It's this year.
I believe it's this year.
Okay, so he's probably going to be gone after this year.
Was he drafted the year before Baker then with Garrett?
Had to have been.
I think he was Garrett draft, so that would be his 5th year would be this year, I think. I could be wrong.
Hang on.
Seamus is supposed to look this shit up.
Yep. Show stalls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seamus is not here.
Oh, good for you. Oh.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
Quarterback.
Ah.
Quarterback. Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum,
Yes.
and Kyle Lauletta.
Kyle Lauletta.
This
No,
one,
no.
I
Is
actually
Kyle
thought,
Lauletta going to beat Case Keenum for the backup so they can save some money?
No. Not a chance in hell. Come on.
I thought that they might have drafted a quarterback late just to as an insurance policy in case Keenum got hurt or they needed to trade him for,
Dude.
you know,
if Keenum gets hurt, you're fucked. If you're already down to Keenum, you're screwed. So that doesn't.
he's going to be a serviceable backup.
He's above average backup.
But what they're paying him is way above
Right,
average
I get that. But this is his last year, so
So next year they'll get a quarterback in the draft. What's up?
probably.
What's up, Jimmy? Thanks for tuning in.
A cheaper bet.
Not the Jimmy that's online live, but if you want to join online live, go to zoom.us and hit that code at the top of the screen.
Alrighty.
All right, now I think we're going to running back. We got Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Dearness Johnson, Demetric Felton, John Kelly, Trey Harbison, and then fullback we have Johnny Stanton and Andy Janovich.
Yep. Janovich is penciled in. That's a done deal.
Yep.
I think the closest race here is going to be Felton versus Dearness.
Yeah. Dearness against Felton.
And that's, again, I mean, who would have thought 3 years ago we're arguing about who could be the third running back?
All these, this is what we're doing. That's all that we're doing is
And
like
however,
talking about.
wearing a Hillis shirt.
We're talking about like depth players so far, and like who's going to get cut from the people that we have versus our picks. It's not like, oh, we're plugging them in as a starter. The only one that we've said so far as a starter is Owusu Kamara. Kamara. JOK. It's easier. I should just say JOK.
Yes.
I mean, it is, as clearly anybody tuning in is not tuning in for, super insight. We're all Browns fans, but
No.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, the suffering we had in Spalding, I think you came in a couple years after Seamus and I, but people were laughing at us about still renewing season tickets.
Oh, yeah.
We kept saying, one of these years, and they had
We
the
were-
year, and COVID hit, so we couldn't go to any.
We were the
games.
butt
Anyway,
of many jokes.
And 2 or 3 years ago, we were breaking down the 5th and 6th running backs and wide receivers.
Yeah. Well, not only that, we were excited about our running backs who were actually third on other people's teams. We're like,
Yeah.
that's it. They're our workhorse. They're going to take it for us.
All right, move along.
Moving on.
Defensive end.
Miles Garrett,
Okay.
Joe Jackson, Cameron
Moving
Malvo.
Moving on.
Okay, so we're going to keep Miles, and we're going to go to the next slide.
Are we sure about Miles? Moving on.
Right?
Left DT, Jordan Elliott, Malik Jackson, who they got from the Eagles, Sheldon Day, and undrafted free agent Marvin Wilson from Florida State.
You have to assume Malik Jackson's going to start here. He's the veteran. He's 30 or 31. He's got plenty of experience. You have to play him. He's like the Sheldon Richardson, maybe not as good, but
Do
Do
you
you
agree
see-
with that, Spalding?
31.
Yeah. I think that Malik Jackson and Jordan Elliott will be in rotation unless
Yeah, you can
Marvin
do
Wilson
rotation.
beats Jordan Elliott.
Are you
Rotation
sure?
guy.
Are you sure?
I don't think Sheldon Day's.
Fucking understand? What don't you fucking understand?
Come on, Spalding. Christian
The
Bale
mouth.
wants you to get with it.
The mouth.
Right.
Jordan
We got a
Elliott.
great defensive tackle.
Andrew Billings is coming back from opting out of the COVID year. They got Tommy Togiai,
Billings, baby.
Malik McDowell, who we talked about with his history, former second-round pick with a little bit of a troubled past. And they
Well,
just signed
McDowell-
Damian Square from the Chargers.
McDowell can play defensive tackle and end. So he's versatile.
Okay.
Assuming that the guy can, still play football since he hasn't played in 4 years. But Togiai would be the backup. Billings would start, I would assume, from here.
Yeah, and I mean, Togiai is not necessarily has to be right tackle. I could see them trying to see if he fits as a floater.
No. That's a depth Yeah, he can play.
So do you think all 4 of these guys make the team?
No, definitely not.
Then why sign Damian Square? Because he looks like, to me, like who could be the odd man out.
Competition.
Okay.
We got competition, and we were lucky last year, but the injury bug is going to hit every team.
We know it will.
And you got to do it. I mean, it's a cold-hearted business. So.
Yeah. What's up, Marty? Thanks for watching.
Hey, Marty, who do you think is going to be the right defensive end?
Yeah, Marty. You got 30 seconds. Jadeveon Clowney, Tech McKinney, Porter Gustin, who had a great interception last year in the playoff game. Or was it the last game of the season?
It's Clowney, but...
And Romeo McKnight.
Has a lot of talent. A lot of talent. So he's going to definitely get reps in there. He'll probably rotate and give Miles some...
Porter Gustin going to make the team?
Who?
Porter Gustin.
I like him. I think we all liked him because he showed a lot of effort last year. I don't know how many of these D linemen they're going to keep.
That's what I mean. They went out and got a lot. They have a lot.
He did.
So, and they signed a bunch of free
I think
agents.
he's a borderline guy.
Sorry, Porter.
Oh, you got a blue line there for the folks watching at home.
You know what that means?
Indeed.
Indubitably.
And here's now what
Look at this list of linebackers.
Yeah.
Taki, Malcolm Smith is back on a 1-year deal. Curtis Weaver's coming back off of injury. Mac Wilson, Tony Fields, their draft pick. Jacob Phillips came on last year at the end. JOK draft pick. Elijah Lee and George Obina.
Okay, first of all, let's decide how many linebackers do normal teams keep.
5.
Okay. What's his face? Woods likes to play 4-2-5, right? Allegedly,
Yep.
That's what we keep hearing. So how many linebackers do you need then? 4?
Yeah, I don't get it.
5 at the most. Okay, Anthony Walker's staying because they signed that guy to a big contract from the Colts. Boom, that's 1.
JOK staying when you...
Tony Fields, they drafted fairly highly. I would say they would keep him, and Jacob Phillips is staying.
I don't think they drafted him high, did they? Didn't they draft Fields in the 5th round?
Yeah, but I think they're going to keep that guy. So they're going to keep the Notre Dame guy and
Yeah.
Walker.
What do you think about Curtis Weaver, who they snatched up from the Dolphins last year, who was, I think, a 2nd-round pick?
Practice squad guy. I don't know.
No, I don't think he is. I think they
He
because
was a practice squad from the Dolphins.
no, he wasn't. He was a 2nd-round pick. And he got injured, and so they tried to sneak him onto the practice squad, and the Browns claimed him off waivers.
Okay. Well, still one of those things. Okay.
I'm already skeptical about Tony Fields, and if I'm misquoting, I apologize, but he was asked on that wrap-up show that was Simulblast 92.3 and 850 why he transferred from Arizona to West Virginia. And he said, well, I think he said he graduated, but he wanted to transfer to get used to different climates. Like he wanted to be used to in the cold. And I think it was Joe Thomas or somebody asked him, yeah, well, what happens if you were drafted by the Cardinals?
All right, so kind of flaky answer. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't transfer.
All right, let's start. Let's start with who isn't going to be here. George Obina,
Anthony Walker.
Who's not going to be here? George Obina, Elijah Lee,
not going to be here?
Mac Wilson are my 3.
I think this is an absolute ridiculous conversation. We know 2-3 guys for sure, and the rest it's just going to be a war of attrition. Who makes it through training camp? Who doesn't get hurt? And who actually makes a few plays in preseason? That's going to be it.
Walker, JOK, and Taki are going to be here. Okay,
Walker,
so
JOK, Taki, those are your 3. I think Weaver's going to make it. And honestly, Weaver might be listed as a lineman.
I think Jacob Phillips is in.
I think he is too.
As much as I just said he's flaky, or at least his answers were, Tony Fields does kind of fit that linebacker / strong safety.
Right.
So I can see him.
Speed guy.
Yeah.
And Mac Wilson's the odd man out.
Which sucks, because I love Mac Wilson.
Mac Wilson is just not a producer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't
He's had 2 years.
Yeah, he has, and Saban told him not to come out.
Oh, well, here we go.
Moving on.
Now,
Cornerback.
just go back to this slide. How many linebackers versus how many safeties? Jeez.
Did you skip over cornerback already?
Corner.
Corner.
Go back to corner. Okay.
Denzel Ward, MJ Stewart, Brian Allen, AJ Green, Greg Newsome, Greedy Williams, Robert Jackson, Emmanuel Rugamba, and Troy Hill.
Okay, Troy Hill is in, Ward is in, Newsome is in, and Greedy Williams is in. That's 4. How many of these are you going to keep?
MJ Stewart, maybe.
Yeah, but not all these other
MJ
guys.
Stewart or AJ Green, one or the other. I think that's it. I think that's the
borderline.
5.
Greedy's going to stay, but I think next year is going to be the real question on him. If
Right.
he cannot
Yeah.
be, what we were saying last week, what's your best ability? Your availability. If he can't be on the field again, I think this is his last year.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
100%.
So I think you could put in Greedy, Newsome, of course, Ward. Please stay healthy.
Troy Hill, definitely. They signed him
Troy
3
Hill's
years.
obviously in. I mean, they didn't sign him to cut him. So he's in.
All right. Let's look at safety.
There.
My name's John Johnson.
John Johnson.
Everyone here calls me Vicky.
Ronnie Harrison, Redwine, Meander, Delpit, LeCount, Moffitt, Benton. So I think there's 4 here.
Well, I think they could move Ronnie Harrison to free safety, and Delpit's going to have a tough. If he's not healthy, that's the huge question.
I don't want to say it's good when he got hurt, but I mean it was warm-ups of the first day of training camp. It's not like it was a week.
The first day.
Yeah, it's not like it was a week 14 injury.
Or is Achilles on the first day?
Well, I understand, but they were showing video. Dude seems to be able to push off and move. So I don't know. I've come back from a not significant knee surgery, and you're scared out there. But if once your knee starts feeling or your surgery feels like you're good to go, you forget about it and move. But I think he just needs to go out there, be able to push off, maybe catch up to a receiver or tight end, and I think he'll get his confidence back.
Well, no, that's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about who's going to start, and I don't see Grant Delpit beating out Ronnie Harrison for free safety because Ronnie's going free. John Johnson moves right into the starting strong safety spot.
So you have Harrison, Johnson, Delpit, LeCount.
Yeah, you're not going to keep any of those other guys.
Bye-bye, Sheldrick. We liked you for a little bit.
I like Sheldrick.
When you got drafted.
He's a Delpit guy. Come on. Delpit, you have to keep Delpit, and then Harrison has to play free safety. So it's penciled in. It's done.
All right, then we can move along.
Yeah. Special teams got punter, kicker, 2 kickers. Matthew McCrane, is he going to push Parkey, or is Parkey locked it in?
He's locked.
Parkey's locked.
Parkey's locked. Hewlett's locked, obviously. Now these punt return and kick return, I think, is going to change, but this is what Arled's listed them as: Donovan Peoples-Jones and Dearness Johnson for kick return.
Nice reference. Yeah, I know.
And don't forget, we got Felton as a possible returner too. So
that's what I mean. I think those will change.
But I mean, obviously, I want to see fucking Schwartz back there at some point if I can. But you forgot Natson.
He wasn't listed on there. But you're right.
The only reason they signed Natson last year was return kicks and punts.
What are you doing, our lads?
Well, maybe that's a little insight that Natson's not going to make the squad.
He might not, but they literally signed that guy to do that job.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is there's now people that could do multiple jobs.
What was his injury?
He tore his. It was a torn knee, something.
Okay, so he might not even be back to 100% either.
Be serious, I think.
Wow, what an embarrassment of riches! I feel like we have.
It is. And now and with all this, like you said, embarrassment of riches in all sports talk radio today, from at least what I was able to hear, was trading for Aaron Rodgers. Good God, man.
Let it go, people. Let it go.
Somebody tried to post that on WNQB, and I deleted it.
Good for you.
I did.
Do you think he's going to retire this year? Like, say he's retired, and then
I think he might sit out
and then
here.
come back next year and sign with the team? Yeah.
I really do.
Now he's 37 though, isn't he?
Yeah, which is in today's day and age is not old. It's he's fine. He's the MVP.
Yeah, not only with all the rules to protect quarterbacks, but
Right.
even when
Exactly.
we'll use our hometown guy. When Bernie Kosar was getting hit, they were playing on AstroTurf, which was code for cement. You know,
Yeah.
now.
That and the fact that you could just tee off on the quarterback whenever you want.
Oh yeah, the crown of the helmet right to the quarterback's head, and concussion. No, it was you got your bell rung. You're fine.
Now you touch the quarterback and it's a fucking personal foul. So.
Right.
What's up, Bob? What's up, Jay? Thanks for tuning in. Bob has a question. He says, "What do you guys think of the shorter preseason and being able to judge players?"
I don't give a shit about the preseason game.
I think last year proved everything we needed to know about the preseason.
There you go.
They don't play the guys in the last two games anyway, and it's just it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, and the guys that do play that are your starters, it's a glorified scrimmage.
So what are they doing? Because we're doing 17 games, right? So are they just doing 2 preseason games, or are they doing 3?
3.
They're
Okay.
doing 3.
It's
Doing
the
3.
same number. There are 10 home games, except in our case, it will be 2
2
or
preseasons.
2 or 1 preseason.
Figure
We'll
probably
have
1
1
preseason.
preseason home game because we've got
Yeah.
Arizona as our other home game.
And 9 regular season games.
Starters will play like 2 quarters in the second game, and then they won't play at all in the third preseason game.
Yeah, and then the following year we'll have only 8 regular season home games and 2 preseason games.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. This is the last slide. So listen.
2 preseason games.
Next week is the special schedule release episode, and it's our last fan cast before the regular season.
I asked about the schedule game.
Schedule game is next Wednesday
Okay.
because what we're gonna do, we're gonna watch one of us is gonna watch it live, and when they do the Browns, we'll get a screenshot or we'll get a thing of the schedule and we'll bring it up, and we're gonna do tailgating. What kind of tailgate food are we gonna have for each game? That's how we'll start. Then we'll end. We're gonna see how many primetime games we get, and then then we'll do our way too early season predictions.
All right, before we go out of here, a couple things to share with the audience that may have missed it. Because I listened to that whole 92.3 thing with, like I said, Joe Thomas, Gerard Cherry, and when they had downtime, they gave some pretty good stories. A couple of great draft stories.
All right, stop the screen share so our cameras can get bigger.
All right. Only the 2011 Cleveland Browns Factory of Sadness could have pulled this one off, courtesy of Trey Wingo, who gave this story. So the Browns call up Cameron Jordan, and they say, Cameron Jordan, we're going to select you here in the 4th round. Congratulations, you're going to be a Cleveland Brown. And his response was, well, that's great. I'll sign 2 signing bonuses, sure. And they're like, what do you mean sign 2 signing bonuses? They called Cameron Jordan. Jordan Cameron.
Oh my god.
So this isn't like 1950 screw up. This is
real?
2011.
Oh my god.
They called Cameron Jordan. He's probably hungover from being drafted in the 1st round by the Saints. And he's
actually called the wrong guy.
Yeah, can you imagine
Oh,
this?
God.
He's probably looking, going, 216. What the hell is this?
How have I never heard that? That is awesome.
I said, yeah, I'll sign 2 signing bonuses.
But
They're
that
like,
was his response.
they're
I
like,
said,
oh shit, wait, what?
That one was good, and they were talking about general managers who overanalyze stupid things, and they asked Joe Thomas what were some of the general manager comments to you, and he said, well, I had a couple that said, your arms are probably too short, that you won't really make it in the NFL, but one general manager straight up told his agent, we're not going to take you because Joe Thomas, well, you didn't have a job in high school, and we're worried about your work ethic.
What?
Wow.
He didn't have a job in high school. That's why they did. That's why they were going to draft on the just 5 years to the day after you retire. You walk into Canton, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, because he didn't have a high school job.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like the questions I hear about, they ask these kids. Jesus.
Yeah. That's why in the movie Draft Day, when they talk at the end, I'm ruining it if you've never seen it, hit pause on this part. When they ask about Bo Callahan and the last page of the playbook, you know, it sounds like, oh, that's just a Hollywood.
Oh, I liked that. I thought
it's
that
like
was
something
good.
crazy these people would actually do.
Yeah, no, that was that's a very underrated movie. I'm sorry, it is. It is.
Spalding.
All right. The movement on the last day, all the picks, yes, that's ridiculous. But everything up to it, that was fine.
They did okay capturing that.
The only problem was Kevin Costner was kissing my girlfriend in that movie.
All right, everybody. Next week, schedule game, tailgating. Invite all of your friends who tailgate at the Muni Lot or the Pit to come on and share their tailgating experience. Turn on the grill and make some food, and we will see you next week for the schedule release show.
Indeed.
For now,
last one for everybody. I'm gonna say goodbye with this.
I will accept it, cocksucker. I will accept it, cocksucker.
and now we're going to watch the Landbulance, one of our Muni Lot interviews. We're looking forward to picking those up this year, too. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.
All right, we got Kristen from Kirtland, soon to be out in Munson.
Correct.
Bill, here with her friends, probably about 10 or 15 of them. Okay, give us your quick Browns resume. How long have you been coming down to the Muni Lot and tailgating?
He's longer. He's older.
Since the mid-'80s.
It's a mid-'80s season ticket holder?
Yes, sir. Third row dog pound.
Now, this is the important question that we're asking everybody. Are you going to work tomorrow?
Nope.
No, both of us.
They did not hesitate. The last guys work on the hemming and hawing a little bit.
No, absolutely fucking not.
Now, besides,
Are we allowed to swear?
you can say whatever the fuck you want.
absolutely fucking
It's
not.
not
It's
a
like
problem.
XM. Okay.
Now, besides Baker and Odell, who are going to be our key players that are going to help
Miles
us?
Garrett.
Oh, wow. She was quick on that one.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, Nick Chubb seems to be the hot one. Everyone's going straight to him.
I would
And
say
142 TDs.
He's hurt.
who is?
Christian Kirksey is on IR.
Yeah, he's out. He was gone. So is Njoku. So
Yeah.
Farrell Brown, if you're watching, you better step up, buddy. All right. Gotta know, what's your prediction for today's game? Give me the score.
Honestly,
I think
Honestly, your honest prediction.
Browns fan my whole life.
we're not going to fare so well.
27-24. LA.
I think it's less. I think we're going to have about 10, maybe 14.
No, all right. I think we're gonna score. Have our defenses out.
It's going to be a tough day on
gonna be a
defense,
tough
that's for
game.
sure. So
Yeah,
we got
for sure.
27-24 Rams and
I would say 21-10 Rams.
wah, wah, wah.
I hate to say
Hey,
it, man.
at least they're honest, folks.
That's honest, man.
You heard it here first, right here in the Muni Lot.
We're still gonna,
Third row dog pound. 30 plus years. I'm a realist, man.
We'll still be here, but I don't think they're
I'll be here next week.
We'll all be here
2
next
weeks.
week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now, yeah.
Well, we might see you again.
On the south side of Lake Erie, there's a place called Cleveland Town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a team called the Cleveland Browns. And they came alive in 85 and 86, they're going for more. Bring on the Broncos, Bengals, Bears, the Dolphins, Steelers, we don't care because we're going to the Super Bowl. They're the best Cleveland Browns, baddest football team around. Better than a team should be. They're gonna win the AFC. Now the Browns are known throughout the league for their fearsome running backs. Nothing could be finer than a run by Ernest Biner and a big Kevin Mack attack. We got Bernie the Kid, and I'm glad we did. He's as talented as he is cool. In the clutch is quite a twosome when he throws to Ozzie Newsome. Ryan Brennan, Webster Slaughter too. They're the bad brightest football team around, better than a team should be. They're gonna win the AFC. Now the Browns have got a defense that can really rock the place. Tell your runners and receivers that they're gonna be believers when the dogs are getting in their face. There's Golden from Johnson, Clancy, Hairston, and a couple 100 pounds of clay.